Some she hasn't heard.
In Columbus, Indiana, at the world famous Yes Theater, I think.
I said the same thing,
Did you?
I think.
Mikie Armstrong's with us. Michael, how did you get started? Where did you start at comedy? How did it
I
start?
started in Louisville, Kentucky at the Comedy Caravan in 1988, doing open mics.
What prompted you to get on stage?
I have no idea. I really don't. I just came home and told my wife that I said, I'm going to try an open mic, and went down there and I was scared to death. And I actually did well the first night. The first night I went up, Dave Mays was the MC, and I did really well. And the last joke I said just bombed. And I looked at the crowd and I said, I should have ended with one of the other jokes. Got a big laugh, walked off.
Right.
And then I tried the same material next week and ate it.
Right. Something about that, it always goes that way.
And you know what? You think you got it figured out after the first night. Why ain't I headlining?
Yeah.
I killed, baby.
Who are some of your favorite comedians?
Dave Wilson. I don't really know. I really don't have no favorites.
Yeah, you didn't like grow up listening to Cosby or George Carlin?
Actually, you know, I thought Cosby was okay, and I thought Carlin was a little bit too political for me.
Yeah.
But probably Harvey Korman was my favorite.
Watch it, yeah.
I loved Harvey Korman.
Yeah.
And I actually got to meet him before he died, too.
You were clean, and I've always known you to do. Why? Is there, obviously that's a conscious decision.
Because I think all the other comics were always dirty, so I thought I would be different from them. And Tom Sobel one time came up to me, because I used to be like real dry and dark when I gave him, he goes, you know, you're goofing off back here and mocking everybody and having a good time, and then when you go up on stage you're like serious. Go up there and be like you are back here, and you'll do well. And that's what I started doing. So I went up there and started being myself and being stupid.
What year was that? Do you remember? What year was 88? You said?
Yeah, that was about 89 when I changed. Because I used to be real like, how you doing? You know. Then I just started being myself, and it worked out. And people still look at me like, what's he talking about? You know. Because I mean, I'm a step above a knock knock. I've always said that.
Right.
I mean, knock knock me.
Right.
You know?
When you were a policeman, were you funny? Were you funny with the guys on the force?
I was always goofing off. Had fun. You know, people just don't get it. You know, why not? You know, I knew it wasn't going to be a career. You know, anything I've ever had was never a career.
Right.
You know, I'm surprised I've been in comedy this long and making a living at it.
Right. What did it mean when you got on the Bob and Tom show? What did that do for you?
That changed my life, which I always thanked you for doing when it got me on there. I mean, it was like, because I was ready to get out. I was ready to get out of comedy because there was no money. And then when Bob and Tom said they liked me, it was like, okay, now you're funny. I mean, before that you were slightly humorous. You know, people would go, and then after you go on Bob and Tom, all of a sudden, boom. I mean, they can make or break you, really, you know. And I call my house the house that Bob and Tom built. And,
yeah.
I mean, and then when Chick said that I was his favorite comic, I mean, that's what everybody plays on the radio when they do commercials and all that kind of stuff, you know. And they've just been great to me.
What's one of the weirdest gigs you've ever gotten off that show?
I don't know.
Didn't you tell me you met like Fess Parker one time or something like that? Oh,
yeah, that was great. Me and my son flew to California, and we did a Republican convention, which was a monster tent with 5,000 people, and they're auctioning off tanks and stuff. It was really weird. I mean, it was like $50,000 a plate, and Fess Parker called and said he wanted to meet us, which was Daniel Boone.
Right.
And that was the highlight. My son goes, Dad, you meet all these people, and then you act like a little girl when you met Fess Parker. I go, but that'd be like meeting Brad Pitt, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, for these younger people, Fess Parker was the coolest.
Yeah. Working on the road now, I mean, you don't, obviously you work with Ted tonight and stuff like that. Who are some of the weirdest guys you've worked with, or funnest guys, or any stories?
I worked with a guy one time, it was about 7 years ago. We were in Illinois, and it was for KFC, Knights of Columbus. And it was some guy that was Scottish, and he went up and he said all Catholics should die.
And the Knights of Columbus?
It was serious.
Oh, my.
Apparently he held a grudge from Scotland or something. I thought the Irish and all that they weren't fighting anymore, but it was still real. And he took the gig so he could give a political statement.
And so he just proceeded to eat it in front of you, or did he
No,
walk
he didn't
off?
eat it because I went up and yanked his butt right off that stage. Not nicely either, because he made me mad too. And I went, well, this is crazy. I'm not going to let him say this about Catholics. But
Weren't you? Didn't you tell me a story one time about working in Mississippi and getting heckled by a guy?
well, you're talking about the time that we're in Cleveland, Mississippi. Me and a Jewish guy and a black guy. And we walk in, and the owner goes, "What the hell?" He goes, "We got an in, a Jew," and he goes, "What are you, probably a Catholic?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Get out!" And I go, "What?" And he goes out, and he gets on the stage, and he goes, "Folks, I'm getting a new guy to book this room because we got an in, a Jew, and a Catholic." He goes, "I don't know what," and they're all throwing stuff.
Oh my!
So we called the booker, and I said, "Here's the thing." He goes, "Go straight to the hotel, get your stuff, and go to the next gig." I'm calling the hotel. It was hilarious.